Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic Volume 8, Episode 35. After yesterday's real struggle with the U-turns puzzle that we were faced with, I am hoping that today's bonus puzzle, while more difficult than the average, is not as difficult as I found yesterday's. So we are going to be looking at a La Paz puzzle today, and if you need a reminder, we got you covered because we're going to take a look at the rules. In La Paz, we will shade some cells so that no two shaded cells are orthogonally adjacent, and divide the remaining unshaded cells into two cell regions. So first off, orthogonally adjacent means sharing an edge. It is not talking about diagonal adjacency. And two cell regions, or dominoes. So we'll be drawing lines around all of the unshaded cells to fill the entire space with dominoes and those shaded cells. Clues cannot be shaded. Clues are the numbers. And a clue in a horizontal region indicates the number of shaded cells in the same row as the clue, while a clue in a vertical region indicates the number of shaded cells in the same column as the clue. So, for example, this domino here has a 2 in it, which means, since this is vertically oriented, there will be 2 shaded cells in this column. Whereas this 2 is in a horizontally oriented domino, which tells us there are 2 shaded cells in that row. Note that dominoes don't have to have a clue, and they can have multiple clues, but of course in that case they would need to be the same number. Those are the rules of La Paz, so it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's La Paz was set by Shye. We have some adjacent digits that are different from each other, which is nice because we can draw boundaries in between those right away. They can't be part of the same region. And let's see what we can do with the this 4, looking out at the largest number. How could those 4 shaded cells be distributed? We've got a dynasty rule set and so we can't have adjacent cells, which means that packing 4 shaded cells is going to be tight. We could do at most 1 in here, at most 2 in here, and at most 1 in here. So whichever way this domino goes, we're going to have to put 2 shaded cells here to get to that 4, and they are these 2. So that's good, because that tells me that this domino goes north, and that also tells me that that one's shaded because we have to fit 1 there. We still have to fit 1 down here. We don't know which one it is. We do, however, know the 3 isn't a vertical domino because that'd be in conflict with the 4. So that goes that way. And how are we going to fit 3 shaded cells in this row? We got to do it here, here, and here. Those neighbors get unshaded. We know this is a domino. We know these neighbors are unshaded. Okay, we're moving. Okay, so this 3 is a vertical domino of some flavor. And we need to fit 3 shaded cells. We can do 1 in this domino, and that's it. So these 2 must be shaded. And this is a domino. This comes out here as a domino, as does this one. Those dead ends are helpful. Here's another one. Here's another one here. And another one here. And what do we... So this one's good. That one's good. Well, no, it's like these are both will be good when these are taken care of. This one is done. This one has to be vertical because it would conflict with the horizontal 3. Likewise, that one. So this comes down like that. we've got a vertical domino with one, we've got a vertical strip with one shaded cell in it. So this 0 must be in a horizontal instead, which means none of these are shaded. Also means the 2 must be vertical because it's not a 0. The one somewhere here, 3 cells are shaded in this column. We've got a dead end here we can mark. We've got, this one could be true. 3 here, 3 in this column is probably the place to look, though there's just a little bit more flexibility. We've got a domino, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 possible spots. So it's not as constrained as we'd like it to be. We do know that there is one shaded cell in this column because this is vertical no matter which way it goes. So this one can't be shaded. And this can't be shaded. Is that helpful? I mean, probably. 2 in this column probably means that one. If it didn't, it's not this one. If that were shaded, that would break this. So that's not shaded. This can't be shaded for that same reason. Might as well do that in places where I can see it when they've got a dead end that could be the shaded cell or could be part of a domino. And what else have we got? A 1 in one of these 2 spots. We've got no 2 shaded cells are orthogonally adjacent. It's very true right now. Other places where we can use any domino logic. That's probably the most likely next thing. Counting. Yeah, let's count cells in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cells in here. So we have an odd number of shaded cells in this area. So if both of them, if there were 2 related to this domino, then we'd need 1 more over here. So, okay, let's say that were true. Let's say this had 2. This would be one of them. One of these would be the other. And then we need a third coming from either here or up here. That doesn't feel like that gives me enough. I feel like that's a strong idea. Maybe the other way is difficult. If this is shaded, we only have 1 to shade here, and we need 3 or 1. But that's not very, that's kind of loose. Is there another thing going horizontally that I'm missing? Maybe. Maybe it's this domino having to have 1 and this domino having to have 1. Is there a way that we can't do it this way? I'm convinced of that because then this becomes a domino and that breaks that. Okay, so this is given by these 2 verticals. That's good. And so that makes this a domino, this 1, this is 1. Now our 2 is defined enough to mark that. We still need to divide the rest here. So what next? We've got this 1 is defined now. This must be shaded. Unshade the neighbor. That gives us another domino, and that gives us this domino. Doesn't tell us anything about this side. I'm trying to figure out, is there going to be any communication at all over here? I don't think so. So that should mean that this is solvable as is. And all we get is that there's exactly one shaded cell in these two. If, let's see which of those, one of those is going to be a problem. This is probably going to be the issue. If that is shaded, then we get a domino there, we get a domino there, we get a domino there, and yes, we can't put, because we need, yeah, okay. So let me phrase that differently. We have a total in this region, this 3x4 region, that's 12 cells. We must have an even number of shaded cells in order for the rest to be dominoes. And we know we have one here, so we have to have one or three. We can't fit three, so one in this column and one in this domino. If the other one was up top, this is obviously a problem because of that. This is a problem because it causes this situation. So the third one is not up top, it is this one. And once we have that, we get a domino here. We can't have this cell be shaded because that would cause this to be a problem. So this is unshaded, so our second in this column is right here. And that gives us domino, 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 domino. Okay, that side's done. Now let's finish off over here. We've got one shaded cell in this whole column, three in this, which come from this domino, and this one. That's guaranteed. That makes this a domino. This comes up here. That makes this a domino. Good. So, one in this domino, and one in this domino, and then one in any of these. Which is going to be the big problem? If we shade this cell, that forces this 3 to put a shaded cell there, which breaks. So we can't shade that cell. If we shade this cell, that forces this 3 to put a shaded cell here, which gives us 3, not a domino. So that's broken as well. So we can't shade that cell. So we must shade that. The 3 forces that to be shaded. We get a domino here. We get a domino here. The third in this column has to come from right there. That gives us a domino here, one here, one here, and so this last one must be shaded. And with a lot of work, that is how we solve a La Paz.